would you like to give us a brief introduction?
Sure. My name is Joy Rodriguez, Camden resident, born and raised in North Camden. My family has been here and have lived here for my entire life and for many generations.
Okay. Can you share some experiences that you and your family have had living in Camden?
I love it. Camden has always been home. Camden has been the neighborhood and the city that I've always known. And so we have, again, my family, not only just my immediate family, but my extended family has all lived here. My grandparents were raised here and things like that. So really, really just gave us an opportunity. It's home. It's all I know. And I can't complain about it. I have had a really good experience here, aside from all the other, you know, comments and backlash that Camden gets. I've always had a great experience, thankfully.
Okay. And how does your life in Camden compare to how you were a kid and how you are now as an adult?
Things change. Things change a lot. I think one because as a kid we think about things differently, so we go outside and we play and have a good time. And then as an adult we see things on a whole different lens. So for me, I've spent a lot of time playing just outside of my neighborhood, right in North Camden specifically where I lived at. When we were younger, I did find that my family would come here to the waterfront just for like some festivities, like Puerto Rican Day Parade, and a few other things that happen on the waterfront. But specifically, like I play at home with friends that I grew up with in the neighborhood. Now it's much different. Now I've had a chance to with working with the center for quite some time as a youngster and working all the way up until just about last year or so. It's changed because I've had a lot more experience outdoors, and so it's been really nice to learn about all the different things happening in the city, and all the green spaces that are kind of popping up to use.
Okay. And then, can you tell me how you use the water and what your connection is to it?
How do I use the water? Well, it's funny because I work for a water company now, so we drink it and use it for everything else. So I kind of talk about it in that sense in a way. But no, more specifically, when it comes to water, I've learned to really enjoy kayaking. And I've always appreciated water. Like you can find me at the beach. I could be at the beach for hours or things like that. And always appreciated and loved water. I think I did not appreciate it as much here on the waterfront for quite some time until I got older. But I enjoy to kayak. I enjoy kayaking as much as I possibly can. And I got a chance to do that here. And I know we'll talk about that at some point today. But yeah, kayaking, just kind of get my feet wet, get my hands wet, learning about the life that lives in it, interested in all that.
So, you live near two rivers, the Delaware and the Cooper River. What are your general thoughts on the river?
I think I think for the longest we've kind of just had not paid enough attention to the water. Yeah, we were so, because I grew up here, so I was just so used to seeing the river and seeing the Cooper River and the Delaware River and things like that. But I never paid it in mind. There was a period of time as I was growing up of having like a disconnect to the outdoors. For the longest, we were kind of told that going outdoors or being in certain places were dangerous. And so, many of our parents and grandparents kept us away from some of the things. Like we could go to a playground and play, we could play in our yards. But to find us in, woods that we have close by, or to see us trying to mess with the water right on the water line was just a no-go. And so I think they are super important habitats that we just kind of we're so used to seeing it, so we didn't, For me, I speak actually. I just paid it no real attention until I got older. I started learning more about what its purpose is, what it does, and its importance, and things like that.
Okay. So earlier you said that you used to work here for the center, and that you also kayaked. Was your first experience kayaking with the center?
Yes.
And what was your impression of it?
So at first I was tired because kayaking is quite the workout. I am a fan of kayaking. Canoeing, I can do it, but kayaking is really the way to go for me. I don't know why, I just have a preference for kayaking over canoeing, but for me it was I worked for the center. I got involved with the center in 2004. And I worked with them as a high school student as part of the CALLS intern program. And then I've continued my journey here while I was in college at Rowan, and then working my way up. And I was here until April of 2021, working as the manager for the CALLS program. during that time, the program was really invested in getting us outdoors, getting us into a kayak on a boat, getting our hands dirty, seining in the marsh and things like that. So when I was working for the center, it's really just talking about getting out there and getting involved, and getting the experience outdoors. And so, yeah, my first experience kind of connecting out there was with the center. And at first I was like, this is not for me. I'm not an outdoors person like that. I'm just bugs and all this stuff just doesn't work. And over time, it's something that I really learned to love, and appreciate.
So, do you have any stories that you've experienced or um, one of your college teams experienced on the river that you'd like to share?
I think so. In both kind of perspective, my own perspective, I got a chance to, in my time here and in the city, I've gotten a chance to canoe along right on the Delaware River along the side of the promenade here on the waterfront twice. That was an experience, fun, scary, but I mean we are on the main channel of the Delaware. We are on the Delaware River, not the back channel, things like that. So water was choppier, much deeper as one would imagine. But that was such a really cool experience to be able to see Camden from the outside, or from the water. My other experience was getting on the back channel. And I think the back channel is, again, such a hidden gem that people did not know about. And there's so much history back there. And so I want to say about 3 years ago was the first time I ever got a chance to get back there. And to just see Camden and go through the paddle experience and learn about the history and see, whether they're just, wooden sticks kind of hanging out of the water, and all the trees and the grass and all the, just seeing it from the water just changes your perspective. And I would invite anybody who gets a chance to do that to get out there. The part about the teens, that was always a rewarding part of my work. A lot of times working with the youth here in the city, getting out on a boat or getting out into the woods or things like that, or even swimming has always been like, there was always a disconnect. And so a lot of times when I got a chance to take a group of teens out there and lead a program that got them on the water, learning about what's happening, you could just see how first they're hesitant and they're like, I don't do this, or I don't swim, this is not for me. But then they get out there and they're loving it, they're enjoying it, and they're getting to appreciate their own backyard. They get oftentimes gets hidden or doesn't get talked about a lot. Even so much so, it's kind of one of those things that I've been most proud to witness is teens that I've known who were not outdoor people, who were not outdoor ambassadors and things like that, who are now working as trailblazers, and leading water program, taking other students, taking other residents out in there and talking about their own experience, but then talking about the things that they've learned. And it's one thing to learn from an adult all these really great things, but to learn from a young person, one who's just out of high school or still in high school, to be leading a kayak program, that's on another level.
In what ways do you think you've positively affected the river?
I think that the way I've done so is education, informal education and awareness around the river, our habitats, watersheds, and just environmental education overall. Being able to lead summer camp programs for Camden students, and being able to work with the youth here to go out to outreach programs, community events, and talk to them about the water that we see, talk to them about what its purpose is, why it's important, has always been the part that I've gotten a chance to really dive into it. We've gotten a chance to use live animals to tell our story, crafts and activities, skits and character and storytelling, all different ways of really kind of just sharing the story of the waterways and what they do.
Okay. And can you tell me what your opinion is, or what your opinions are, for the cleanliness of the Delaware River?
So, again, working for the center and still getting a chance to work on the waterfront, I get a little bit more information than the normal resident, right? I get a chance to get involved in water quality to some extent, right? I get a chance to be able to take what I've learned and the experiences here at the center, and we take water samples and we talk about the health of the water. Not every person gets a chance to do that, and so yes, looking at it may not look the prettiest. It's not clear. I'm not going to stick my feet in there and see my toes right away, right? But the health of the river is good, and especially learning about the period of time that the river was just kind of like a dead zone, or just it was so polluted that it was not healthy, and to know that now later years down the line that it's bouncing back, and it's with new regulations and laws and policies and advocates from other organizations and things like that, being able to see the water come back and to be at a healthier state has been really cool to notice. Again, it does not look pretty to a normal eye, right? You want to see clear water and things like that. But the health of the water, I think, from my opinion, from the experience that I've had, and the organizations that I worked for, it's nice to know that we have a healthy river, healthy waterway.
Okay. So, what do you love, or maybe not love so much about Camden?
I don't think there's anything that I would not love about Camden. Camden is, like I said, my home. Camden is really where I've learned. They're my grassroots, right? Camden's my grassroots. That's where I've learned all the experience, or I've gotten all the opportunities that I've gotten today. I born and raised. I worked in Camden. I still work in Camden. I know the folks here. I've gotten involved in many of the nonprofit organizations, whether that's through board membership, partnerships, collaborations through my work, or just on my own. Camden is my home. I think Camden has, for many years, Camden has just been going through this period of getting a bad rep, and oftentimes the people telling the stories don't live here. And I admit it, Camden has had its periods of difficult and challenges and things like that. But the culture here, or the people here, have never veered away from that family-oriented feel, right? The people here in Camden take care of the people here in Camden, all right? And that's what I've always appreciated and loved about the city, that I've gotten a chance to learn. Like I said, I was born here. I live here. I bought my first house here. My family is here. These are where my roots are. I've gotten my first job here, multiple jobs that I've also gotten from just living and being in Camden, and the experience that I've gotten here. So I have no complaints with Camden. Camden is home. Camden is where it's at. So,
Okay. And then for the final question, with all the work that you've done with the youth, do you believe you've sparked a change for future generations here in Camden?
100%. They are the untapped knowledge and potential that is going to move things forward. I have a background in sociology, so I'm really interested, and I've always been interested in just kind of observing how the teens interact and how they think and how they problem solve. And sometimes if you just go into a room and give them a task and let it run wild, they come up with the most creative ideas and the most innovative ways to move things forward that I, as an adult, or other adults may not have thought of, right? Culture and society changes, and sometimes after we've spent our time kind of, sharing our nuggets of knowledge and sharing our experiences and our the stuff that we know, we sometimes have to take a step back and let the next generation start thinking about those things and start, inventing and tinkering and thinking and innovating. And so the teens are the untapped knowledge base that's really going to, take what has been done and all the change that has taken place and take that forward.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.